Alright, just in case this does make the cut, I guess I'll just lead into... We've been doing a lot of, well, 3 to 5 skull missions here, but I felt like jumping into the Flashpoint campaign, so these do limit our op to 4 mechs, and I think the very first we actually get put into some other mech of their choosing. So, you know, if this is not jumpy, if this is looking pretty nice, I'll include the nice introduction here into the video that goes online. If not, then I'll end up redoing this here in a little bit, and you guys will hear that instead.
I remember the Oregon Reach of old, the time of the Great Expansion. I was just a boy then. Proudly we went forth, bringing the light of our coalition to so many systems. And for what? To see our great kingdom slowly waste away?
Conqueror, yes.
Year after year, the Council deliberates while our economy falters, and the wolves bay at every door, while covetous neighbors plot against us. Well, I say, it can go no further.
Looks totally stable.
We are here today because if Lady Arano will not act, someone must. I know what I'm asking of you. You will face former comrades, or even loved ones, on the battlefield. I take up arms against my own niece. But remember, today we sacrifice so that tomorrow we can return our kingdom to its proper glory, to its proper strength. So should you fall tonight, know that you did so as true heroes of the Reach. To your stations, for the Directorate!
Oh, Piercer's sudden, yet inevitable betrayal and all that.
And interface initiated.
Alright, so we've dropped into the tutorial mission, and it does look like they've given us something just completely ridiculous again. Wait, is that smoke? Alright.
This is damned odd, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
Kid,
well...
keep your head on a swivel and be ready for anything.
So we've got, well, Mastiff, I guess, and Centurion, Kamea Arano in the Royal Kentaro, and we have an Osprey? What the heck is an Osprey? Okay, we have a Gauss rifle, fine. Medium lasers ×3 and an LRN-10. That could be worse. Luckily we're doing this late enough in that we should have decent pilot skills. Oh. These are very nice. Patrol of Royal Guard mechs up ahead, we should go to that.
Whatever's happening here, I won't let it derail your coronation. Your people need you.
Thank you, Raju. I will prove myself worthy of the faith you've placed in me.
So for those of you who
That
haven't
I have
played
no doubt.
the main game here, what we're dropping into is the succession in a periphery faction, the Oregon, something or other. And it's basically the beginning of a civil war of sorts. So, in case I left the intro in, which I probably will, there's basically been a dispute about the success of the latest Arano rulers, which led to effectively a civil war here. So we are going to move up just a little bit, and I'll tell you the reason why in just a second. Is we want the most evasiveness pips as we can get when we move in there, so we'll get 6, and if the Kentaro dies, we lose. Okay.
Fall back, Kamea.
Traitors.
Get behind us.
Once again,
You
curse
didn't
your,
train me to cower, Raju. You trained me to fight.
curse your sudden yet inevitable betrayal and all that.
Safety disengaged.
Oh man. So there's a panther? What is that? Shadowhawk. I just looked a little bit odd at that angle there. That top looked rounded. Okay, things moving on 6. Royal Kataro's moving on 6. Centurion is moving on 8 along with the Osprey. So let's see what the big gun from that Osprey can do. Looks like our sound's being a little bit awkward. But if we can... Yep, that's a good firing angle. Okay. Let's see if we can put a Gauss rifle right into this Panther's rear arc. Won't kill it on its own, but with backup from medium lasers and a little bit of that LRM support, we might be able to do it.
Nice job, kid. One fewer hostile on the board.
A little bit jumpy video there, but we were able to take down that Panther in one shot, which is nice because this first engagement is actually surprisingly tricky oftentimes. So we're going to wait. Yeah, okay. Oof. A little bit of damage pounding into that Centurion. But less evasion and less damage reduction on that Shadowhawk, which is why we did it. So, can we get a decent shot? We're not really. But we do have a Narc launcher on the Royal Kentaro. We can get a rear shot here though. But that Narc launcher would be pretty nice. So let's take the Royal Kentaro. Can't quite get the turn that we want there. Let's come up out of the way of the Centurion on the next move. And we'll fire everything. We're hoping to get that Narc launcher to go in. There's no reason to fire the LRM-15. I mean, extra damage is never bad, but we don't have all the ammunition in the world. We'll have as much ammunition as we... Well, okay. Better safe than sorry. There's a fair number of small targets here, and the LRM-15 could be useful. So let's go ahead and fire in. We did land an arc. That's very nice. And now we can get that rear fire here. Although we did open up the side a little bit, we can exploit that next turn. Ooh. Artemis 4 ammunition on the LRM-10. Should we go for Cluster or Slug? Bring at that rear arc. Let's go Slug. I want to see if we can rip something off. Which we don't manage to do, but we do open up some of that rear armor, exposing that left torso and the right torso. Center torso is still okay. Let's see what we can do. So if we get this move, what's better for us? A little farther away? No. Closer to? No. CLRM-10, a little bit worse. Let's just take this move. And we'll fire in again. So we should have had some extra damage there from that right torso travel inward. And it did. Good. You're going for... You're going for a kick, we lose the LRM-10. Punch, we lose the LBX. So instead, just move right here. No evasion. If this guy turns around and blasts us, so be it. I'm actually more worried that he might try to kick us if he survives this. And we'll stick with the slug ammo because there's only 5 in that left torso, so any overkill we do to it will travel inward. Dealing that in the center.
Making me do that, son. Damn you.
You know. Oh, okay. Alexander Madeira. Hope he knows he's named after a wine. Okay. Roll card attacks. Okay. Seditionists, still a birthright. Oh yeah, so this is Coronation Day basically for Kamea. And that's the day.
And I fear this is only the beginning.
That's the day that her
Follow
uncle
me. Keep close and remember your training.
decides to make a
Things are
move.
likely to get ugly between here and there.
Bit of a jerk move, really. Your own flesh and blood betraying you on what's supposed to be your Coronation Day. In some places, they might call that rude. Okay. So there's a light vehicle, there's a light vehicle, a light vehicle. However, these are much more threatening in this mod than they were previously. Armor increases mainly, makes them harder to kill. We're going to reserve all the way down, and we'll go into something that has the least chance of actually hitting. That will be the center. Well, we can get a shot on. Okay, so Zari's going to move up to here. We get visibility. See what we're potentially shooting at. Yeah, 6 evasion pips, 530 overall armor. We're going to go ahead and sensor lock him. Well, not the heaviest gun, so maybe that was a bad decision. But I was hoping that would get him to move. Did not. LRM fire coming in, light smattering of damage there, nothing too terrible. But I was hoping one of them would move. Let's see, what else can we get? The Osprey can move up pretty far. But I think we're going to actually take him up top, see if we can get an elevation advantage. And we come in here. We could sensor lock that same guy again, but well, if they move him, we lose everything for it. But I mean, all these vehicles are pretty light, so let's go ahead and try and get them to move the Striker. This is 35 tons, it's one of the heaviest in that little corridor right there. Although, quite frankly, we'd be better off if we can get in range for a kick. So let's go ahead and run up here. Do expose the Kintaro to a little bit of fire. I think it should be fine. And we'll fire in with everything except for the LRM again, just saving that ammunition once more. Let's see. Did we get the narc? Did get the narc. Okay, Scorpion. It's an MG. No real problems there. The real issue is that if we go in to just step on all of these guys, for one thing, the Gauss rifle won't fire if I also do melee, but the melee damage is doubled against vehicles, so it still is relatively effective. That could be okay. I was worried that was going to be a rear angle shot. It's the fact that if we're standing around stepping here over and over and over again, we'll actually lose some of our evasion. So here's what we can do. We're going to come in with a kick. No, it's not great, but that's what we're going to do. Partially because it ignores cover. 82 damage is better than the Gauss rifle. I'll go ahead in one spot. And we pound him with the triple medium. Not enough. Not enough. Still 29 armor there on the front. We might be able to bore through the Centurion if we get lucky, but the clustering rules for vehicles won't necessarily favor that. So let's see what we can get here. It's not bad. Let's do it. So move up. Not a lot of evasion here, but I don't mind. I don't mind Mastiff taking some of that damage. We could go for Cluster. Wait, we'd almost certainly guarantee some damage on the front. Yeah, let's go for it. Why not? Doing some damage on the front, and that's a vehicle killed. Good. Very nice. Okay, Galleon moving at 8. More fire in. No. Okay, so that was fire into the Osprey, but it looks to have landed on. No, did that land? Oh, they shot their own Scorpion. Very nice. For us, not for them. Okay, let's go in for a kick here again. Looks like his left side is open, but I can't really get around to it with a kick here, so that'll just have to be what it is. I'm gonna turn off the narc. We don't really need it to attack this vehicle. We only have 8 more rounds with it, so I do want to save that. And the kick exposes the structure, and let's see what this is to exploit the dead vehicle. So this is something that is actually super useful going in against vehicles. They will die completely if you destroy even one of their locations, right? That's unlike the Mac where you have to either take down 2 legs or the CT, so everything for them is a CT, basically. That's the best equivalent I can come up with. What that means is that all you have to do is bore through in one location and then crit CT. It's just too far away for us to... Let's let him move. So something like a kick, something like a melee attack, or something like, oh, I don't know, a Gauss rifle or an AC-20, exploiting a single hit location and then following up with something like LRMs, where you're not necessarily seeking to do the most damage, although it does help. You're really just trying to crit seek in that one location, and that should get you a kill. So that'll expose the structure there. Cluster rounds get that kill nice and easy. We didn't even really need to fire the rest. Very nice. I'm not sure what payout we get for this. It's, I think it just said 100,000, but I think we will get a custom loot cache, if you will, for having done this. So let's reserve down a little bit. I'm not sure. It looks like that vehicle's already moved. Okay, that's fine. We can get line of sight on them. Before we do that, let's actually move through the valley. Well, no, we'll go up top with the Osprey, and then we'll sensor lock that vehicle. Try and strip away some evasion pips if it had any, which I don't know if it did or not, but now they're gone. And now we can fire in with the Royal Kintaro. Again, not really concerned about narking here. We have more than enough SRM ammunition to use a not great shot here. So let's go ahead and do it.
Oh,
Don't land a ton.
No. We're too late.
Late for what? I never quite understood that. Yes, it's dramatic, but too late for what exactly? So the Centurion's taking a little bit more fire than I would really like if this was our own mission. If we go ahead and look at that. A lot of it's to that left torso, so we should try and keep a right side face generally. I wonder, if we reserve down to 6, can I get a melee hit? Can. Okay. So the rear armor here, 68 out of 90, 77 on the left hand side. So a rear shot would actually be best for us with that kick. A fair amount of evasion on this guy, so we might not land enough missiles, but we do get structure exposed. And down, and it is. We have to be a little bit careful here. As soon as we get into that courtyard, we will get more reinforcements spawning against us. So we're just going to move up Mastiff in the Centurion on this turn, and we're actually going to brace here with the Osprey. This does exit us from combat. That should restart here in a second. And let's move in 4 evasion pips and a 20% damage reduction. Seems quite nice. Okay, Alexander Madeira. Okay. Espinosa battle might plow through an alley full of civilians. War crimes everywhere. And
Alexander!
Now, firing on civilian populations, favorite pastime of tin pot dictators everywhere. Okay, Lady Victoria Espinosa. The Arano is, well, legacy is over, all of it. See about that. Oregon Beach, that's what it's called. Okay. Eyes, Kamea, for the love that I once bore you, I'm going to give you a chance to surrender. Even spare the old man and his mech warrior if you stand down now. See you hanged. You know, a little bit of a five streak there. Any contacts?
Attention, all Espinosa forces.
Okay. Cicada, Spider, and a Locust.
Lady Arano is to be apprehended and taken alive by my command. Fail to follow these instructions, and you will have me to deal with.
Sound more like a comic book villain, please. I dare you. Okay, so it seems we're not quite in combat yet, which is a little bit odd. But something we can potentially use to our advantage. So we're going to go into all protected positions by the forest. It does also make it slightly more difficult for them to shoot at us. And we need to wait for them to move because those 8 evasion pips and the 20% from entrenched, we are not going to be able to land much damage on them. Okay, Locust is the first to move, probably going to be the first to die as well. But I see no reason to move. I see no reason to move at 7. So they continue. Okay, There's the cicada. Does land a small laser hit. Nothing too crazy. And we have the spider SDR 5V. You know, this mission was really difficult at one point with the Rogue Tech mod because it gave you, I think it was a Stinger Land Air Mech, so Stinger Lamb. And that was before the new Lamb rules were implemented in the mod, so they could actually fly around. That thing had no guns on it worth the name, which made it incredibly hard to actually kill things. You had to basically rely on the Kintaro, which is far less than perfect. And it ended up taking a fair amount of damage even with relatively decent play. At least I thought my play was relatively decent. Maybe that's a little bit biased. We're going to go in and try to kick the cicada. And follow up. I probably should have put the LBX on slug. But the cluster will be decent for going after that leg as well. So, let's see. Leg is not destroyed. Yep, should have gone with slug. Might have landed the extra 7 damage on that leg if we got an electric hit location. So that's a charge, which means I'm not going to do it. What we can do is we can go in here and we can kick. We're spreading out our damage just a little bit. I want that spider to be unsteady, and I'll show you why here in a second. Okay, we did get it. Leg smattering damage, right leg destroyed. Okay, nice. This guy will now move down to 7 initiative from 8 in the next round. Or he'll just die outright. Okay, not bad. So he's going to move, well, let's see, so we can get in a kick here. And we are going to do that to the, well, it's our accuracy. Our accuracy is amazing. So we're going to come up here and take, less than perfect evasion, but we're going to hopefully land that Gauss rifle right into this guy. Destroyed. Additional missiles following up.
Incoming transmission.
No?
Attention, citizens of Coromodir 6. This is Lord Santiago Espinosa. With the unanimous support of the founding houses, I have assumed control of the Oregon Coalition. For your own protection, I urge you to remain calm and stay indoors until otherwise instructed. All hostile units, stand down. Have my hope you will not be harmed. Resist, and you will be fired upon.
Yeah, you're doing a fair amount of resisting here. That's the plan, at least.
Placed his faith in that man. I gave him my trust. He was...
Yeah, well, we're going to be killing a lot of your family's mechs here, sooner rather than later. That looks like a leg destroyed and knocked down. Maybe we can get this guy killed on the fall as well. And we do. Okay. Good for us. Recruits without much pilot health is basically the answer there. I think only 2 wounds to kill them. Is that a punch? 5 damage punch. Alright, respectable with the lasers. Take it back. It's not entirely useless, just mostly. And we will come down here. That would be, yeah. It's that insult to injury here. We're just gonna kick you to death. We get the left leg. That mech's gone. Yeah. Oh yeah. Power eject.
You get to that ship, Alexander. I mean it. I will not lose you and my throne on the same day.
Alright. Let's go to zoom in. Destroy the Espinosa vehicles, we can do that. We can definitely do that. This is just absolutely pathetic resistance. I know this is... Maybe I'm supposed to be a little bit more hyped for something like this, but I mean, the game's been out forever. People who are going to be watching this, if there are any, are already going to know what's going on here, so It's not like I'm ruining the suspense or anything like that. I genuinely think they could have made this mission a bit more difficult, even as a tutorial, and that hopefully would have gone fine. Again, I think that's what Rogue Tech tried to do by giving you just such an awful mech that you actually did have a bit of a limitation on your firepower, right? But we're pounding in with a Gauss rifle. That's hardly underpowered, I would say. Granted, our accuracy isn't amazing, and we can't get precision shots, which I do rely on precision shots quite a bit, as you guys are no doubt well aware. I mean, things like that, right? Pound in Gauss rifle. This mech was made to kill light vehicles, and do a very excellent job with it too. Okay, so we're gonna try and kill the vehicle with the SRMs. Because quite frankly, the Scorpion AC5, it's good. Don't get me wrong. At this point, we may as well fire the LRMs. We're not going to run out of ammunition. Just fire them. That's a vehicle destroyed. A little bit of overkill, but we're playing a game with big stompy mechs of doom. There's no such thing as overkill, really. Unless you want the salvage, in which case, well, it's rough luck for you, isn't it? I do always tend to get good kills on things that I don't want to salvage, and vice versa. Alright. We missed a fair amount of our damage there. 3 evasion pips, and Raju Mastiff himself is actually not the best pilot. Or at least it doesn't appear that he is. His gunnery skill needs some work. But that's alright, we can forgive him. What we'll do, we'll come up right here. And since this guy didn't move, it should be a piece of cake. Link into him with the Gauss rifle. And since that didn't get it, we'll come in here with a side strike. Try and exploit the armor, and there it goes. Vehicle's down. Well, we could have turned off the guns. That's okay. So I don't think we're going to want to ally with these guys. I mean, something I definitely thought about doing, but we went Steiner. Federated Commonwealth seems like a good theme, so I think we are going to be, when we're not doing these missions, we're going to go over to the Federated Sons, House Davian, and try to ally with them. Alright.
As you command, my lady.
Ah. Captain Housed and a Wolverine. Good luck. Good luck. Why would you think, I mean, a Wolverine versus a Kintaro would be a relatively decent match, depending on the Wolverine model type. This one, frankly, I think would lose to the Royal Kintaro any day of the week. I mean, the Narc Launcher will tag better shots with the SRM-6s, and we just have heavier firepower than you. Granted, maybe not at range. The AC5 versus the LRM would be a bit more of an even competition. So, first things first, we should probably take out the laser turrets. They have a fair amount of armor, but that's where most of the damage is actually going to come from. So if we get a sprint over here to maintain evasion, do lose a little bit of accuracy. We've taken so little damage at this point. I'm going to sacrifice some of our evasion pips just to get a better shot, because I really do want to land the that Gauss rifle. Our best shots on this guy. Let's take it. We're doing a Gauss. A little bit of struggles with accuracy with those medium lasers. And the Royal Kintaro does take a medium laser shot. I'm not at all worried about us losing at this point. While the Centurion has taken some damage, it's not nothing. We're going to come up here and sprint, and we're going to open up these cluster rounds in the other M10 R4. Should be enough to take that one. There we go. So those two mechs are going to hopefully do the same thing to that other turret on the next turn. And I think the Kintaro with that close in double SRM-6 build is going to go after the Wolverine. So let's go ahead and come up here, save ourselves from a rear shot just by a hair against that turret. And we'll come up here, fire everything at this guy. Great accuracy. That's not going to work out well for you. Okay, side shot. That's a laser turret. Could be better than it is for us, but let's see what happens if we just stand still. Yeah, okay. We land the Gauss, a little bit lucky today, and we kill it in one shot. Very nice. So that's the second turret down. We can actually move up with Mastiff and Centurion. And we'll take this shot here, just on the very hairy edge of our range of the Aranos. I think I will fire Cluster. Maybe that was a mistake. But we still did expose that arm. And, I mean, if I were in that Wolverine right now, facing a Centurion, and a Kintaro, and an Osprey, each one of which would put up a stiff fight in a duel, let alone, you know, a 3v1 tag team, I would not be very happy right now. So, let's see if we can speed this along. Okay. That's what you get for carrying an XL engine in a frontline map. Alright, so we'll proceed to the evac zone. I think it'll take us another turn to get there with all three. And we should have another nice little... Oh, yeah, you guys will see in a second. Okay, mission complete. 5 minutes is a long time. Bomb squad, see you later on the docking ramp. She's aboard, come back to me, we'll hold this pass, but
Thank you, Sir Rashu. Thank you both. I won't forget what you've done for me today. I promise you that.
Kamea Arano. Contact. Yeah, that's a little much. Now, I do believe Raj just said whatever comes, but I'm not really sure he meant it. No. Play side by side. Ha! Yeah. So earlier on, this version skipped it, but right at the very beginning of the unmodded game, you basically, you're in the blackjack, and there's comments on how it's recently been repaired. Yeah, repaired is a fine word. No honor indeed. Jerry Roth, old man, my father's a great man, swear to all the gods, you will suffer. Yada, I'm a coward, so are you. So we punch out because our mech's useless. And,
Mission successful.
That's the mission. I might leave in if they do show the cutscene afterward, but if not, thank you guys for hanging around.